All right, everybody, grab your gloves and grab a glass because it's time for Wine and Weeds.
Don't force me out of bed in your society. Don't push me down the road you're bringing down. Don't try to fix my head, it's just your anxiety.
Hey everybody, Erin from the Impatient Gardener here, and today I'm hanging out with my friend Laura from How's It Growing, and we have got some seriously weedy action for you today. So last season on Wine and Weeds, we spent a lot of time talking about the weeds that we battle in our own yards, as well as the drinks we use to make ourselves feel better about them. But it's funny, it's all the same weeds this year. Funny how that happens, isn't it? That they just come back. So we thought we'd change it up a little bit, and today we're going to do a weeding challenge. So here's the deal, we're gonna put 3 minutes on the clock. We each have a 5-gallon bucket. Whoever pulls the most weeds by volume, I guess, in 3 minutes wins. And we have a great incentive to get our work done, because when we're finished, Laura and I get to enjoy some great wine from the sponsor of today's video, Bright Cellars, a monthly wine club that matches you with wines you will love. I think you guys know that I enjoy a glass of wine, particularly at the end of a day in the garden. And I enjoy researching wine and learning about them, but I think sometimes we all get stuck in a wine rut from time to time. And so we end up relying on our tried and true varieties and potentially missing out on something great. And that's where Bright Cellars comes in, matching you with wines from small vineyards from around the world, including hundreds of wines that are exclusive to them, so you haven't tried those before. The way it works is that you take a 7-question quiz to get a feel for your taste preferences. Bright Cellars chooses wines for you, and you can swap out for a different bottle if the description sounds a little off to you. Then you get this great box of wine, complete with education cards that talk about tasting notes, pairings, and more. And your satisfaction is guaranteed. If you don't like a wine, Bright Cellars will send you a replacement in your next box. Okay, so here are the wines that came in my box. First one is Elbtron, which is from Austria. It's a Blaufränkisch, which is a variety I can tell you I have never tried before. Castillo de Verallo, and that is a Syrah. I love Syrahs. Cabin 5, a California wine, full-bodied red. Then we have Hazelare. This is a California full-bodied white. Color Fast, and then Avast, which is also from California. Those are the 6 wines that I got in my box. Laura, what'd you get in yours?
Okay, I'm excited to show you guys what came in my Bright Cellars box today. I am a wine novice. I'm a wine enthusiast and I enjoy drinking wine, but I would not call myself an experienced wine drinker. I typically lean towards Cabernets and Reds, but in the summertime, I do love to mix in a white wine or two. It's kind of pulling me out of that wine rut that I've been in and allowing me to sample and try some new things, and maybe I'll find a favorite. So let's dive in and I'll show you what I got. The first one here is a white wine. This is Silverscape, and it is fruit forward, and this is from California. So that is option 1. Then we have Mojave Rain, and this is a California red blend. Stone Lantern, this is a Cabernet. As I was telling you guys, I like the Cabernet. So this is from the Columbia Valley in Washington. And this has notes of plum, blackberry, baking spices, and vanilla. Those were all, you know, the kind of things that you could pick, the things you like. So this is Folk and Fable, and this is a red blend. Then we've got Sprig and Rose, which I think I'm gonna try today. This one is also from California, and it's got peach, pineapple, jasmine, and lemon zest flavoring. So that sounds really refreshing for right now. This is Vanishing Act, and this one is also from Washington, and it's got mulberry, blackcurrant, clove, and baking spices in the flavors.
Those sound great, but we have to do our work before we can earn our wine. So we're gonna go do this weeding challenge, and then we'll come back and give some of these a try. Here we go with the weeding challenge. I'm gonna set the timer, and we're gonna go. You ready, Laura?
Hey there, Erin. Hey, everyone. I'm ready to go. I got my gloves. I got my bucket. I'm going to set the timer on my watch as soon as I enter the weed zone. Here we go.
Hey Siri, set a timer for 3 minutes.
To our couple, that's all about you.
Here's my bucket, but I did grab some big garlic mustard wheat and kind of folded it up in there, which does take up a lot of room in a bucket. So I'm going to try to jam everything down in there. I'm going to say we're half to 3/4 full there. So I weeded the neighbor garden that I created last year. It's the first time I've really been in here this year, so it is in need of a good weeding. Now between the plants, it's not too bad. On the edges of it, there's some bigger weeds that I have to get in there and take care of, but 3 minutes is a good first step, I think. So what I mostly pulled out, there was garlic mustard weed, there was a fair amount of chickweed, a couple of thistles, some wild raspberries, and that was it mostly, I think. A few other random things in there, but that was probably the bulk of it. All right, Laura, how did you do? Show me what you weeded.
I could probably fill up easily 10 of these buckets, but I'd say that's a pretty good weed hole right there for 3 minutes. Maybe we should do this more often. I primarily have, it is like 90% thistle. So this thistle just goes rampant in my garden. And let me push it down a bit so you can see, but it is like 90% thistle and about 10% clover that has just run amok into the beds. With that said, I definitely earned that glass of wine. I'm going to join you, Erin.
Okay, so we're going to try 4 of these. I've chosen 4. We're going to go from lightest to heaviest. And we're going to start with this white, which is called Hold Fast by Avast Wines. Zesty citrus and sweet tart nectarine shine in this dry white. So I like the citrus in there, the nectarine. I think I'll keep trying it. The nectarine is pretty forward on that one to me. This is Color Fast. Perfect for pairing with spicy foods. This off dry white is incredibly aromatic with notes of perfume, florals, and stone fruits on the nose and palate. Balanced acidity. Yes, I can see how spicy foods would be good with that because it would offset that a little bit. Now we're moving on to a couple of reds. Cabin 5. This is described as a rich, full-bodied red. Notes of dark fruits like black cherry, blackberry, and plum. Spicy black pepper and a hint of smoke on the nose with strong tannins. Black cherry, blackberry, plum, and smoke. I suspect I'll like this a lot. Oh, it's very fruity. Really fruity. You know, it's better on the back end. On the front end, I find it a little too fruity for me, probably. And then the last one that we're going to try is this Syrah. This is Castillo de Verão. Complex flavors abound in this Portuguese Syrah with dark fruits apparent on the nose and palate with secondary smoke flavors of smoke, black pepper, and baking spices. Oh, that's great. That one I like a lot. That's really nice. So I would say of these 4, my favorite is actually this one. And I like reds and whites equally. I just drink them at different times. My favorite is this one. Probably my second favorite is actually this Avast, which I think is, I like that grapefruit in there a lot. And these other 2 are good. They're much different than what I normally drink. So I think it's one of those things where you have to sort of let your mind open a little bit and see what you think. I wouldn't send any of these, I wouldn't consider any of these unacceptable though. So that's what I got. Laura, what are you drinking?
I'm excited to try all of these, but I think for right now, I'm just gonna sample 1 white and 1 red and let you know what I think. So Sprig and Rose. Okay, the Symphony is an aromatic variety from California. This summery wine is off dry and slightly sweet. On the palate, it's all about pineapple, peach, and elegant garden florals. What's not to love there? So it's suggesting you could also pair this with toasted brioche and peach jam, a virtual dinner with friends, of course. That's what we're doing here. We're having a virtual wine tasting. That all sounds good to me, so let's give it a try. Cheers. I was gonna say, I was immediately hit with the pineapple scent as soon as I began to drink. It is really good. It's really good, you guys. And then the second one I'm gonna try is the Stone Lantern. Okay, so you guys know I love Cabernet, and this is a Cabernet Franc. It is similar to Cabernet Sauvignon. It's raining. It's similar to Cabernet Sauvignon, but the medium-bodied red shows classic flavors of blackberry, plum, and a hint of warm baking spice. It has structured tannins and ripe fruit notes. I'm gonna take a swig of this because it's starting to really rain now. Let's see how this tastes. It smells good. It smells familiar, like the Cabernet that I love, so. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I would say this one is a keeper too. This one has a bite to it. It's more on the tart end, I would say, and not real smoky or deep. Do I sound like I know what I'm talking about? A little bit. I can tell you what I like, and as somebody that generally drinks a Cabernet Sauvignon, this Cabernet Franc is yummy. I like it very, very much. Thanks for having me join you today, Erin. Cheers.
All right, well, thanks for joining us on Wine and Weeds. Thanks to Bright Cellars for sponsoring this. Check the description below for a 50% off discount off your first box. And cheers.